We are going live. We think we are going live. I am trying to bring Scott in. Okay. Let me see.
Okay, wait. Oh, guys are on. Can you hear us?
And hopefully I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yay! I can hear you. Weather's determination, eh? Hello. Welcome to my world. Me, technology, don't mix. It's too much energy. You okay?
So how is everybody?
Good, really good.
You come back. I just had to move back. Hello.
Hello. You okay? Yeah, I can hear you good.
I don't know why that was such a difficult thing to do.
Oh, I don't know. I've watched a few people have issues over the last couple of weeks with it, to be honest, so don't take it personal. We try not to.
That was another issue, huh?
Yeah, I kind of need to know the questions now.
Well, I can see
Yeah, Avree's got it. Sorry.
Worst comes to worst, I'll just use it. But, oh yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're back. So everyone, say hello to Samantha. My God, this is such torture. 10 minutes ago, this was fine. We had a conversation here. So everyone, this is Samantha. Everyone knows my past and people that I've worked with. And Samantha's one of the biggest badasses out of the UK I've ever met in my lifetime. And your story of being a psychic medium and everything you've overcome and gotten to get at this point is so fascinating to me. There's so many different versions of what people think of psychics or they think of mediums when they think of that particular word. I would like you to start really with where your gift came from and how exactly you look at this industry compared to how other people do, because I really love your take on this.
Okay. Are you ready for this? Do you want the whole lot, nuts and bolts? I believe I was born this way. It's my Lady Gaga moment there for you. But I think it began with the fact that I entered this world actually dead. And I was dead for, I think it's 7 minutes at birth. And then I died a further 3 times.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and I'm born with a hole in the heart. So I'm not supposed to be able to sit up and all of these things. Do you know what I mean? Put that down to my driven mother, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, I think it began then. Because I mean, I do come from a family of mediums. I'm 5th generation, but I actually think it's the way I entered the world that opens me up to it, because I've been like this all my life. I don't know any different. People say to me, it must be really weird to be you. And I think, no, it must be really weird to be you. How do you do life with no one going yip, 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 and telling you all this advice and stay away from that one and blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? How do you do that? But so I don't know any different. But I say that, but I actually didn't realize that I am different. I thought everybody was like me. Right? It sounds really stupid. I'm embarrassed to say this. This is my bimbo moment. But I thought the entire world was seeing what I see, feeling what I feel. And then it got to a time which was probably one of my darkest moments, when at the age of 28, 29, heading towards 29, I was actually single, pregnant, unemployed, and 24 hours off being evicted. And me being the stubborn ass that I am, I wouldn't ask for help. You know, we do that, don't we? You know,
Right.
and I literally, it sounds pathetic, but I literally got down on the floor and I prayed. And I prayed into the night, asking for God, universe, angels, whoever's listening, to help me because I hadn't got the strength to kill myself, but I was actually asking for them to take my life because I had nothing to give this baby inside me at all. So, as you can see, that didn't happen. But what did happen was I picked up what's an attachment. Have you heard of that term?
An attachment?
Yeah, yeah.
Years ago when I was with one of my other ladies, I had to pick something up at an event, same thing like in LA. And
Yeah, yeah. So basically from that moment, I had an attachment with me. So I didn't get the attention of the angels, God, where they didn't grant their wish. But what I had was I had an attachment, and I had a man attached to me who had taken his own life, who then, and I was about, what was I, about 4.5 months pregnant then, and up until I was 8.5 months pregnant, every single night when I fell asleep, as I was falling asleep, he would come in and attempt to help me cross over, because my dad came and saved me, as it were, and brought me back to his house. But I literally, every night, as I fell asleep, he would appear over me, and that would be it. And I have such vivid memories of being pulled by the neck out of the out of my body, if you like, bouncing across the ceiling and down the stairs, and I would get to the front door, and then something would change. I'd be panicking and screaming, and I would literally go and bang into my body, and I'd wake up literally feeling black and blue. I really would. So that was I call that my awakening on it, you know. And
you're so different than other mediums, though. Like so many people, like mediums meet across the world, they're trained by books, or they're trained by lectures, or they're trained by other people. You were basically just thrown into this by spirit. I mean, you had no
yeah,
formal
yeah,
training. Life was
yeah,
basically.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, and here I'm like, I'm now 20 years on. I had that course that put me down a path of understanding that where there is light, there is darkness. And I basically am spirit trained. I think I've sat in one circle once at a local church here, what we call the SNU churches here. Just a personal thing, I didn't get on with that. So I actually turned around and said, well, if you want me to do this, you've got to train me. Should have stated at what time of the day, because they decided to train me at 1 o'clock every morning. Get me out of bed. Oh God. But yeah, but that's what happened, and I am literally spirit trained, and that's how it's been with all of my mediumship and all the different levels of mediumship that 20 years on I've worked through. But I think that's a good way. I mean, I know I say that's hypocritical because I now teach, but it's been a great way for me to really connect with the divine and connect with spirit world and my higher self. I love it.
I love it. I want to show you this. I wore a shirt with skulls today just because I knew I was talking to you. So, my next question is kind of like a two-parter, because this was really fascinating to me when we talked last week. I know this is one part of what you do, and how do I put this? There's many psychics and mediums in the world. Some of them are love and light, as we discussed, and it's only love, light. There's good. There's no bad in this world. And as we have talked, that's not true. There is darkness in this world.
It's not true. Yeah.
One thing we touched on a little bit last week is you're part of exorcisms, and you actually are part of doing some exorcisms across the country.
Yeah.
And to me, that was fascinating because a lot of people see the gift of a psychic medium and they think it's just, like we said, love and light. It's happiness. There's a darkness that has to be addressed here too with your gift, and you're one of the people who will actually accept that and move to the forefront of it and say, hey, this is another part of what we do where other people won't talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. And I could have kept you on the phone for 3 hours the other day talking about this.
Yeah.
People don't know about, and I don't know, just if you could touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. I work from an angelics perspective, and I work with people who are having issues in their lives. And often when they come to me, it's because they've actually got attachment themselves. So I know exactly what that's like and how that feels. Sometimes that can simply be what we call a waif and stray spirit. And other times it can be something extremely dark and quite sort of threatening. And we have to shift these things off us because they do energetically try to drain the life out of you and control you. There's a number of types of spirit that work this. We have those that come back in visitation, love and light, your granny, and do you know what I mean? If your granny was a nice person, of course, not a mass murderer. Then we also have those who suddenly have been such nasty bastards in this lifetime that they get this sudden all God-loving and God-fearing and are frightened to go and meet their maker. You get people like that who actually choose not to go in the light because they're frightened to. So they are what I call the waifs and strays. And then you also have those who enjoyed hurting people, harming people, that kind of thing. And they are they've chosen to remain because they're what we call negatives, and they get pleasure from staying here and causing harm. But of course, we're all energy. So I'm talking about energy beings. And so because of that, it's like you have to think they have to attach because they need energy to continue to thrive. So if you have, yeah.
Well, most people, when they think of like what you do, like they think of the movie The Exorcism, and they think of her head spinning around and the vomit coming out of her mouth and things like that. I mean, when you think of the real exorcism, when you're there, I mean, what is it like to be in that particular environment when this is all happening?
Well, what you have to do is you have to take yourself on a process, because it's no good being high vibing up here if you've got something very low vibe and negative. And that's why I'm always banging on. You've got to be high vibe. You've got to be positive. You've got to stay up here so these things can't get you. And so basically what we do is we have to drop our levels, put ourselves at risk, to be perfectly honest, because we have to drop our levels to match that vibration, to then connect and communicate with that vibration. Yeah, and we have to use their dialect and their language and their force, and just really stand our ground. I have absolute faith in my ability, my guides, my angels, everyone that stands. I always joke, I say I'm just the idiot in the physical suit. The rest of them weren't stupid. They stand behind me and I sit in the impact, but it's like, and that's what we do. So we drop to that level to then pull that out and shift it. And sometimes it can go to light. Sometimes it has to be sent to where it's come from. Often these things are man-made. They're hexes. They're the products of things like that. What would it be? Like African magic can be one of the worst things. The snake magic. That was one of my first encounters. I send it back to who sent it. I believe in serving karma sometimes. Send it back to where it came from. So don't do that shit. I'll send it right back at you. But it's like, but we have to drop to these levels to deal with them and use their language. Sometimes they're in your head, obviously, swearing your head off and threatening and everything, because you have to match their vibration, but stand there as a force and threaten them.
You're very much like an in-your-face kind of medium. Like, again, I love talking because your answers are just your blood. You just, boom, if you have to say it, you say it.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, with what you do you think that's something more people should do? Because I've been on the other side of the spectrum as well, where there's certain readings and sessions where it's very light, it's very refreshing, if you will. But I just think sometimes people need to hear it. If there's something happening, you need to hear it. And I don't know, like you're kind of that voice. I mean, anyone I've ever sent to you, that's exactly what they said. They're like, "Ooh, she was like right in my face." I love that though, because you're using the gift for the right way. And I don't know, like, what do you, like, why would people differentiate that? Why won't people, like, really say what they're, I don't know, when spirit guides you, you know what spirit wants you to say. Why don't people sometimes actually say what spirit wants them to say, and they kind of...
Because their ego gets in the way.
Their personal ego?
Their ego, which is the product of the mind, the personality of the mind, that fear of looking an idiot, that fear of saying the wrong thing. And I've got beyond that stage. Maybe it's to do with hitting my 40s, but I've got beyond that stage. And why do light and fluffy read? Life isn't light and fluffy. Life is real. You know, so let's get real. And if you've been an idiot, I'll tell you you've been an idiot, but now what should we do about it?
Absolutely.
So, a question about attachments. Are attachments always bad and dark, or sometimes can attachments...
No, because what can also happen is that someone can pass and, it sounds crazy, but not know what to do.
Oh, that's not crazy at all.
You know, and when it's somebody like that, what I do is, and there's other people that do this work, but this level of work, but what I do is, that's a normal Passover mediumship thing. You call in someone that they would know in spirit world, like their mum, their granny, whoever, that they would know and trust, to collect them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I send them home. Wouldn't you want to go home?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. To me, that's what it's all about. It's about,
yeah.
You know, I always believe they attach for a reason, and a lot of people just think it's always scary reasons. No, like you said, sometimes someone just...
No. And it's like when I go in and I do what's called palliative work. So I help people who are on the very end of their journey, who are passing over to spirit world. And what we do is we just put protection around them and bring the angel. It's very beautiful. Death is the most beautiful, humbling experience. But you bring in all the energies, all the angels around that spirit, that person, and give and help them with the chakra work to leave the body, but making sure nothing else jumps in for the ride.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you do your sessions, again, you're different than other people. There's certain topics you like to talk about. There's certain topics you don't like to talk about. It's like we talked about for the show today. If any of you have questions for Sam, please let me know. Just type them. But we're not here looking for relationship questions. We're not looking for the...
Am I going to have a baby?
Yeah, we're not looking for... very that you can get. Like, Sam is an in-your-face kind of person. I mean, if there's questions you have about certain things, again, you're kind of my go-to for this always. And granted, you're in the UK, and sometimes we've got a time difference to deal with here. But again, when people need certain answers, I always direct them right towards you. So, how do you know if someone how would someone know if something bad is ever attached to them, or currently could be attached to them? What are signs of that?
Because their mindset changes. So what you've got to remember is, on the whole, we're good, lovely people. We have nice thoughts on the whole, yeah. But if you suddenly have really angry thoughts, you want to kill somebody, you want to pick up a glass and smash it in their face, or do something like that. Do you know what I mean? And you actually think, Christ, where did that come from? Yeah, because it's not you. Yeah, that's an indicator. Your eyes will give it away as well. You can look at people and the light's gone out of the eyes. You can know those are not your eyes, their eyes looking back at you. Yeah, and you become depressed.
But attachments, how do they know who to attach to? Because I look at myself and I always think I am love, I'm full of spirit. But people like yourself and others always told me I'm one of the biggest people they can attach to because of that reason, because I'm so full of happiness. So is that
what would attach to you would be lost ones, let's call it that. Because you're too high vibing to have the negative ones. And let's think, Scott, I think in your life you might be somebody who does collect waifs and strays and lost souls, whether they've got 4 legs or 2, am I right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you don't change your behavior whether it's in a body or not. Do you know what I mean?
My downfall, always. So, let's see if anyone else.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So I know branded the name the Psychic Coach. So you do readings, but you also teach as well. So if somebody wants to go about learning underneath you, how do they do that?
Yeah, I have on my website, I have a link to my spiritual academy.
Okay.
So I teach online, I teach mediumship, and I teach tarot, and I also train healers on a one-to-one basis and through all the levels like I do as well. So
anybody from anywhere could be trained by you?
yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't train the masses because I train those who are just naturally gifted.
Okay.
Who like me need to learn to control it.
How do you tell somebody's naturally gifted?
Because they'll be picking it all up and doing it anyway, but they need to control it, because the problem, if you like, is when you're open to spirit, you're open to everything.
Right.
So you're open, and you have to be empathic. If you're not empathic, then you're not a psychic. And empathic is you are sensitive to everybody's energies and things. So if someone is empathic, they will have really struggled through COVID because everyone's anxiety is off the head. So you have to know how to control your own energy field so that you don't absorb the world's anxiety and upset. And I always say to people, we are connected. That's how we can work as healers. That's how I can sit in the UK and read for my clients in Canada, America, because we are all one. I see it like gold threads go between me to everybody. We are all one. But that's a two-way stream. So that also means you can pick up everybody else's energy. I always give the example of when, what's his name? Michael Jackson died.
Okay.
Yeah, when Michael Jackson died, there was a heaviness in the world, that sense of loss in the whole world. And even if you don't like Michael Jackson, you felt that loss. Yeah, you understand?
Yeah,
So that's what I mean.
you felt that loss. Me, it was Kurt Cobain when he passed away years ago. Kurt Cobain was big in my generation. So when he passed away, I mean, that sadness as well. I hear you talking about my phone.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Here's a question about myself. So I've been studying. I got to ask about me. So I've been studying a couple months to bring up my own abilities. Like, I've worked with amazing ladies for 15 years, and never once did I believe I had this ability inside of me. Although for 15 years, people have told me I've had this ability inside of me. So now I've been training for a couple months, and as much in my mind as I don't want to believe I have this gift, like at all, like I just think, like, oh, I wasn't meant to have this. So many of my meditations and so many of my predictions that I say to either her or some of the other people around here, they are all start to come true. So I guess for myself, I mean, what do you see? Do you think that, I don't know, one day I know I'll be studying under you as well, but how long do you think I am from studying under you? I have to get to a certain place in myself before I feel like I'm ready for someone like you.
It's how I describe it all is you have to think of it like going to the gym. Because when you're working as a psychic or a medium, you're using parts of the brain that you don't normally use. And so if you want to build your muscles up on your body, you have to go to the gym every day and you have to work at it. It's the same with the parts of the brain for the psychic and the mediumship as well. You're opening up different parts of the brain. But old school traditional training is you got to sit in a circle for 8 years and then you got to do 2 years of this and blah, blah, blah. I was working within months because you have to get on with it to learn. Do you know what I mean? You can't sit reading for yourself and for your friends and family forever because you know them. You need to push yourself out of your comfort zone and read for strangers. You know?
But that sounds scary to me because you're
good.
It's consideration what I just said, and that it's all completely true or it's not true. Hey, one thing I have to say that I love is, someone just said that she has the touch. What do you think?
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And one of your students said you're very mean because you give homework.
Say that again, you broke up. One of my students says what?
love that though. I love it. So all your teachings are one-on-one though, or do you do group?
No, I do online. I run my spiritual academy online,
Okay.
but I do the healing training one-to-one because I want people to, it's a responsibility, and I want people to be bloody good at it, because otherwise you can't help people. But before, what I always say to people, if people are destined to be a healer or to be a reader, they tend to have done a hell of a lot of life fast. Because I could teach you, Scott, to read, and I could teach you to heal till the cows come home. But I cannot teach you compassion. Only life can teach you that. So someone who is genuinely destined to be a healer or a reader will have done a lot of life very fast, done some very hard life experiences to teach them that compassion that you need to work. You're dealing with people's lives.
That makes total sense to me. I mean, like, this is my background. I mean, my background well, and I think just came a time, like after losing my mom, I think this was my realize that I should be doing more.
I've lost you.
I saw a broom outside my door that no one else saw, and I kept seeing this broom, and I couldn't figure out why. And 20 minutes later, a woman walked in, a wicked trained witch. So the broom was trying to...
She sent the broom to spy on you.
Everything in motion, and it really. But I don't know. Like, here, I don't want to offend anyone in the world, but I don't know what to do with my gift. You
don't need to. Spirit will sort that out for you. You don't need to worry about that.
Oh, makes sense. All right, so I don't know. For you talking to me, do you believe I have this gift and it's going to come out? Like, I love what you said about not waiting 8 years and doing things faster. I just think that I don't know. I think I'm evolving very fast with it because I'm really throwing myself into it completely. And I just want to make the right path for it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be in balance. You're put here to live a physical life. Whether you like it or not, you put on a human suit to play a human role. So you have to be in balance within it. It is draining, as in when you're in. It's not the work; it's the people. People say to me, "Does it not drain you doing that?" I say, "No. Every time I do it, I get more energy, so I go up and up and up and up." What can drain me and can upset me, obviously, is the situations that you see people have put other people through. I always say to me, don't worry about the dead, it's the living that will do you more harm. And it is so true. So that can be hard. I read on, because I'm a life guidance reader and I am a kick-ass reader. My reputation here in the UK, if you want to know the truth, go to Sam. You might not like it, but she'll tell you the truth, and she'll kick your ass, and she'll tell you you've been an idiot, now get on and do this and this and this. But as you know from people I've read around you, sometimes that's what's needed.
Oh, for sure.
I'll say that without revealing. But it's, if that is what is needed to help you, then I've served my purpose in that moment. And that's what I'm here to do, because I don't want people to struggle unnecessarily. We came here to this earth to play, to create, to have fun. If you're not having fun, you're not supposed to be doing it, or you need to change your mindset. So I teach all the mindset stuff, and I do the reading. So when I do a reading, I actually blend all my coaching training and my law of attraction training with the readings, because it's no good me saying, well, you need to do this, and like, what does she even mean? Well, this is what I mean. Yeah, and that's how I do it, because then I'm helping you do much better. And that's what we want.
So we got about 5% left, because for some reason talking to you is great. I want to put you on the spot.
That'll be me, sorry.
Well, first of all, anyone who wants to book an appointment with a celebrity, you want me to find her online, or feel free to reach out to Avree at 702-499-5036. But can I put you on the spot because you're in the UK? Can I ask you some questions about the States really fast?
About the States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you see happening? What do you see happening in November? Joe Biden, Donald Trump. Who do you think is going to win?
Bill.
Next question. I live here in Las Vegas. So Do you see Las Vegas being shut down again because of COVID? And do you think we're going to be on a steady rise to stay open here?
Do you know what? I feel as if there is a second wave to come in, but not to across the USA, but not in parts of the USA, but not to the intensity. I think it would be the same here as well.
Okay.
Wow.
No one knows what to do. The world's so scared right now about so many.
Yeah, but do you know what But do you know what people should do? Stop being afraid of it. I actually see COVID as a spiritual war. Right? I see it as a spiritual war. This is the two worlds now dividing. Are you going to live in the fear, the old rules, the fear-based world, or are you going to jump ship and live on the lovey-dovey kind of energy world? We overlap, of course we do. But what are you going to do? Are you going to live in fear for the rest of your life, or are you going to choose to love and love what you do and love your life? And that's what COVID has been about. You're supposed to have woken up, people. That's what you're supposed to have done. Stop being afraid of it.
And Mother Nature is real, I tell people.
Yeah, it's a cult.
Yeah, she said, hey, it's my world, not yours. And she wanted us to be aware.
Get out. I can't breathe. Get off me.
We had some technical difficulties. I want to plan another one of these for something.
Yeah, absolutely. Just shout.
We'll work out all these issues that happened today. But anyone, again, if you want to talk to Sam, please feel free to go to her website, reach out to Avree, and I love you dearly. Thank you for being in my life.
Thank you so very much.
My pleasure.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you so much. See you again. Bye.